Wow.
As Dan adjusts his camera, and I was just looking strangely at the camera.
No intro.
There is no, because no one knows we're live yet. So we'll just let people,
All right.
join, and then I'll play the intro. This is the pre-podcast, post-video, pre-intro chat. And then Raquel has just messaged me. She's ready to go.
Awesome. Do you want her to join right away?
Yeah. She's asked what time would we like her, and I've said now would be great. So we've got some people joining us in the chat, which probably means that we can play the graphics.
Yeah.
Here we go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for everything guitar.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Guitar Stories, episode number 39.
Wow, almost a big 4.
Yeah, it's the same as my age, actually. Just interestingly enough. I'm 39 currently, passing 40 in a few weeks. I'm still suffering from a bit of a cold, Dan. I've been rough all week. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I had a great weekend, and it was an extended weekend with a bank holiday on last Thursday. So it was pretty much a good time with the fam and playing some guitar. That was lovely. And now back to work and back to the podcast. So I'm full of energy.
Yeah.
Back to life.
I accidentally kind of made a mistake today. In case you're watching this live, then this is the second time we try to go live with the podcast, or technically third, but it's working. It's all Dan's fault, and
liar.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Big shout out to we've got some regulars in the chat. We've got Poo Ninja, we've got Valeria, we've got Sarang, we've got Johnny Guitarist. I like that name. Yeah. Who else have you seen there, Dan? Anybody else? Have I missed someone?
Facebook user saying hello.
Facebook user. Hello, Facebook user.
Hello, Facebook user.
I wonder if maybe we should play a game we try and guess who it is by giving us clues. We've got Fergie in France as well. So Raquel will be joining us any moment, or at least she was expecting about half an hour, so she's just going to jump in at any time. She's going to be talking to us about Twitch. And Twitch as a musician, and not the thing that I do when I see a new fuzz pedal, the actual social, sorry, dad joke, social platform, streaming platform.
Yep.
I know nothing about Twitch. What's your knowledge of Twitch, Dan?
Very little. I got a few artists that I deal with that are on Twitch, and some of them I think are Twitch partners and some are Twitch affiliates. But it's like a big mystery. And actually, I think we've gone over that topic already. To me, it's kind of overwhelming at the moment with so many platforms kind of becoming the next big thing. You've got, we had Facebook back in the day. Actually, we had in Germany, we even had like StudiVZ, which was like a Germanized version of Facebook. Then we had Facebook. Then we had Instagram, and then TikTok and Twitch, and of course YouTube, which is like, everywhere. It's so universal. And actually, it's super interesting. Like if I have a look at your show, there are like 20, 30 people watching that premiere. So for them, your show has basically become their television. And, going back from linear television to something that is quite on demand, but there are still premieres where you are sitting in front of your monitor like at a certain time. It's kind of interesting to see. And other streaming devices like Netflix, I think in France, they are offering like predetermined linear streams nowadays, because obviously people are having a hard time selecting movies. It's in development, like going back and forth. So you got more freedom, more options, then you get overwhelmed. So there are some
absolutely. I suffer from option paralysis all the time. And there's on my Netflix, it's got a play something button.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to do the cough. I did manage to mute it this time.
Awesome.
I think.
Awesome.
Dan, some news for you.
Yeah, please.
We're actually streaming on Twitch right now.
That is great.
So we're live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and anywhere else that'll have us if I can find them. But I guess we should... Have you got any news? Should we do some news?
Yeah, probably. Let's head over to the news.
Okay, then. News.
Well, that was seamless.
Thanks.
Such a smooth transition. Yeah, actually, one of your prioritized topics, Nirvana and Kurt Cobain, there was news that the Marshall cabinet sold at the auction. And take a guess. What was the price they fetched?
So I know nothing about this. Dan asked me before the show if I was aware of this. I am not. So you're asking me if I know the price that Marshall 1960 AV, is it, went for?
I think that's great. It was used in the video recorded at Pier 48 in 1993, I guess. And it's got stencil everywhere. It's like it's like a true piece of history. It says music. What's that? Music Bank.
Music Bank.
Bank, yeah, K3, and yeah, that's a piece of history. And you can see it here as well in the video. There it is. I mean, that's like, if you're a Nirvana fan and maybe a gear collector, I think that's probably one of the most precious pieces to own. Yeah. So
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm terrible at this thing anyway, but I'm going to guess, I don't know, 100,000.
wow, super close.
Oh!
Yeah, 93,000.
Damn.
Damn. Right. That's quite something. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. As a Nirvana fan and guitar player, I don't want that.
No.
No.
In your background, like, no.
Probably stinks.
Yeah, but.
And then if you de-stink it, it's not fun anymore, is it? You've got to keep it stinky, which I think is a Nirvana song actually. But keep it stinky. Yeah, I think that's nuts. I see the point in buying a guitar. I see the point in having an amp to an extent, but having a cab doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, I wonder how they ship it in order to make sure that it arrives like in one piece and doesn't disintegrate. If some UPS or DHL guys who just throws it in the truck and. Well, you don't probably throw a 4x12 unless you're Mr. T, but you get what I mean.
Mr. T, wow. Starting with some modern references tonight, Dan. I mean, I'm with you. I probably would have said the same, or Hulk Hogan, or Big Daddy, or something. But
yeah.
I like the way that your
Giant.
brain said Mr. T.
Okay, let's say The Rock.
The Rock. Okay.
The Rock. Yeah.
The Rock. Fair enough. I'll give you. I'm not picking on you. I just thought it was hilarious the way your brain went there.
No, I was just imagining who would actually throw a 4x12, and there was just one image in my head. That was I pity the fool, Mr. T.
There's got to be. I'll think of some more Mr. T jokes. Something with Marshall. There's something like an air marshal and the fact he doesn't like getting on planes. There's something there.
Probably. Yeah. There's some substance.
Just throwing it through the marshal. I don't like air marshals. Anyway.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what they also sold? 6 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair.
Hang on. Let me put you big screen.
Yeah.
6 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair.
Correct. Provided by the woman who cut it in 1989. So how much do you think someone paid for that?
Right, now, I think it's Superman 2 in which they clone him.
Yeah.
So you can see where I'm going from that.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I really don't know. But I can tell you that Raquel has just joined us in the backstage area.
Awesome.
And she looks kind of as she's ready. And when she gives me a wave, I'll know that she is ready. And then we can bring her in and ask her what she thinks about this.
That sounds great, yeah.
So I'm kind of just playing for time because I don't want to give a number until Raquel says. She's telling me just 1 minute. Just
So you want to... Oh, wow. Clone Cobain. Oh, wow.
6 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair was up for grabs.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know a number because I'm not good, but I think it went for more than the Marshall cab.
No, really? No.
Okay, what does that say about me? I'd
don't
rather
know.
have Kurt Cobain's hair than his cab.
Yeah. Well, you're probably still intrigued by the idea of cloning Kurt.
Yeah,
Clone Vana.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. 50,000.
No, it was less. It was 14,000.
Only 40. I could have afforded that. I could have bought that.
You could have afforded 14,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have
6
to
strands
move
of
a few
hair?
things around. I'd have to shift a few things and, sell one of my kids. But I could have afforded that.
Did you say kids or kidney?
Either or. Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I will Kurt clone Bane. Yeah.
Yeah. So Raquel is waving at me, which means she's probably ready. So
Awesome.
let's bring her in, ladies and gentlemen. It's Raquel Lily. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going really well. I'm going to put you over there. There we go.
Awesome.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good to meet you as well. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
And we've got some immediate cat content.
Oh,
Yes. This is Rigby.
Hey, Rigby.
Oh,
I know you
wow.
can't hear me. You should get little headphones for your cat. That'd be amazing.
I know. He would not be appeased though. He'd probably leave. He's way too much of a little prince. But if you could listen close, you could hear him purring.
All right.
Okay. So you've just answered the main question tonight is how do you survive on Twitch? And that is bring a cat to your show.
Yeah.
I would watch every episode.
Cat often lurks in the back doing whatever he wants to do, just like right now. So
I saw a show where
Yeah.
you were where he was on the bed, sort of displaying himself.
Yeah, he
That
sits where
was
he
fun.
wants, really. Yeah, usually there's a cat tree bed thing right behind me, which y'all can't see right now, but he often chills there while I'm streaming and just does what he wants. But he's generally a chill cat. I mean, he's only 4 months old, so I'm just enjoying the times where he's actually able to sit and fit in my lap.
Yeah.
What's the naughtiest thing he's done so far?
Well, he like I said, he's only 4 months old, so this will probably transform into some sort of like way more deviant trying to mate with my other cats. But right now, he terrorizes them by jumping on top of them. And yeah, hopefully it stays that way. But one day, it's probably going to turn into like vicious humps or something. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
So for the best.
Well, I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back. Well, cat chat, everybody. Welcome. Raquel. I have a bit of a cough, so if I look that way and disappear for a moment, it's because I'm coughing up.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Myself, which I'm going to do right now.
So, Raquel, considering that we just started talking about the gear news, owning an original Marshall 4x12 cabinet that Kurt Cobain used in one of his videos, would that some memorabilia you've been to, or is that not your cup of tea?
I definitely respect and like Nirvana growing up, but in the 90s, which is the era that I grew up in, I was kind of worshiping bands from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s over like the actual the bands that were actually in existence or were popular or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, like for collectors' reasons, I would definitely be like, hell yeah. But no, I'm not really someone willing to give my left nut for something Kurt Cobain played through. So,
what would you give your left nut for? Out of curiosity?
Maybe Paul McCartney's rig. Yeah, let's go with that. I'd give both my nuts. I don't need those kids. I need that rig though.
I have a Hofner bass here. Do you want to see it?
Yes.
There. It needs new strings.
Amazing. What's that in between the strings? What is that?
That is the new strings that need to be put on.
I see.
It came with round wounds. It needs flat wounds.
Very nice. Very nice.
In fact, Dan, I don't think you've seen that before.
No, I haven't.
I've not shown that on the channel yet. So.
Yeah, are you reviewing that?
I will be, yeah. Kind of like doing a video about the fact that you can't get Paul McCartney's tone with round wound strings. Super nerdy.
Nice.
Yeah, you need
Are you
those
wearing
flat wounds.
any costumes? Like Yellow Submarine inspired? Or
I
stuff?
could wear a costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get a Sergeant Pepper's outfit. I say I could
Hey.
get one. I have a Sergeant Pepper's
Kinky.
outfit. Yeah. Which color Sergeant Pepper's outfit do you think I have?
We're gonna go with the Ringo suit.
What color's Ringo?
I don't know.
Come on.
Google.
I'm
Google
googling.
it.
I'm googling. Actually, I'm duck going because I've. You got it right.
Did I?
Yes.
Wow. Look
Ringo
at me
is
go.
pink.
Yeah, you get
Nice.
Oh wow.
What do I get Kurt Cobain's half stack now, or how does this work? What do I win?
You win some hair.
Nice. Okay.
Not Kurt
Probably.
Cobain's hair, just maybe someone from
Andy's
the chat.
Special.
Yeah, so are you into gear at all? Before we go into Twitch and before we go into your wonderful music, are you into gear or are you purely music based?
I'm a little bit of both. I'm a somewhat of a gear collector. I especially love collecting microphones. That's the thing that I like to do. I'm primarily a vocalist or singer, but I do also have my fair share of guitar gear as well because I also play. And I also record. I record my own stuff, so I've got a bunch of studio gear as well.
Right. Well, I noticed you've got an orange cab behind you.
Yes.
I think we have the same cab. I've got one over there.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're. Dan asked me if I could switch you to the other side, and I can. But now we've got really big Dan and Andy. So
Nice. I just need to get a close up of my face now.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey guys.
hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, Dan, move out of the way. I'm trying to talk to Raquel.
Oh wow.
Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Wrong way. Sorry. I'm new to this. I'm new. Well, we've got the answer to that, Dan, is no. Sadly, we can't move Raquel to the other side. But
No worries. No worries.
we're doing some gear news. We're running a little bit late tonight, but we can do gear, and maybe you can give us your opinion on that if you fancy it.
Sure. Yeah.
And we have-
Cool.
Actually,
If I have one.
Yeah, we could play buy, borrow, and burn with Raquel. Actually, that would be fun. So it's the three of us. How
We
about
have
that?
a game where we choose some new gear for the week, and we have to buy one of them, borrow one of them, and burn one of them.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that classic game. But I never managed to introduce the show properly with that section. Dan, would you like to go first this week?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so Dan's going to bring up his gear.
Yeah. There you go.
Do you want? Hang on, wait. You got to do the little graphic thing. Hang on.
Of course.
Here we go. Watch this.
Dance, pick up the wake. Dance, pick up the wake.
Yes. Look at
I
that.
still love the song. So what do we have here? Actually, this week, Fender and Square Enix announced a limited edition Final Fantasy XIV Strat, which is basically a video game inspired rendition of the classic with some super cool looks. And it's not just a collaboration, like I just said, it's also alongside the actual guitar that you can buy, like the physical instrument. You can have the digital version of that in the game with patch 5.55. That's wicked, isn't it? So
Yes.
like, let's just go down like the basic like specs for the geeks. It's got a 9.5-inch rosewood fretboard with a maple neck, and it's got those kind of translucent sections like that look like purple and blue crystals, kind of to mirror the crystals of darkness and light, which are key elements of the game. And apart from that, it's a black body. It's interestingly made in Japan, like you can see here. No, you can, but it's made in Japan. And yeah, this is the in-game shot. So this is how the guitar is going to look like in Final Fantasy. And
Wow.
then once you purchase that, you can rock out with it. So it makes for a pretty cool in-game item. Is that cool?
It's actually That's actually pretty dope. I enjoyed that a lot.
I love that.
Finally, there's someone who appreciates stuff like that. Yeah. Are you into video games? Sorry for digressing, but are you into video games and stuff like that?
Well, the reason why I started streaming on Twitch was because I'm a gamer, and I just knew the platform for its gaming, and then I saw a few people playing guitar and singing, and I was like, that's kind of what I do for a living. Let me try that out. And then 4 years later, I started doing that full time. So just being able to intersect both worlds is kind of just super cool to me. There was what was it, Cyberpunk, I think it was, where there was a scene or a few scenes where there were like some buskers like actually playing the actual chords and like the notes on the guitar, and it was the first game that I saw that was like playing the real thing and having the correct fingering on the fretboard. And I was like, holy crap, like that's insane. Yeah. So just seeing stuff like this being integrated into games is like always super cool and mind blowing and kind of nerdy, but like I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm digging that too. And actually, did you ever play The Last of Us 2?
I did not, no.
Oh, that should definitely be on the bucket list, because in Last of Us, they also had guitars that were in the video game. Like you could actually strum, you could choose particular chords, and you could play songs in the game, like melodies or at least chords. And that was an integral part of the game, that particular guitar. And so Taylor came up with guitars that were inspired by the game. So you had
That's cool.
The top one is the guitar that you see in the game. In the game, of course, it got so many battle scars because of everything that was going on. But it's got the inlay, that kind of butterfly inlay, and it pretty much got the same looks. And I think like down there, that's something that Ellie's got tattooed on her arm or something. So it's like
cool.
A black GS Mini with the tattoo. Sorry if I'm wrong. I think it's a tattoo. And then you've got the actual guitar. And what was interesting in preparation for the episode, I was discussing the Final Fantasy idea with Andy, and he was like, and I thought like, oh, that would be so cool if for The Last of Us 2 there would have been a guitar. And then Andy was like, oh, there's ringing a bell in my head, and I did some research and found out that I never heard of that before. I played a game and I'm a big fan, but I've never heard of that before because those two guitars were only available in North America, Canada, and Mexico. So lucky you that in the States it was available for us Europeans, unfortunately not. So that's a little bit sad to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, it just reminded me of that, and seeing like more guitar companies kind of tipping their toes into the game scene is a trend that I highly welcome, and I look forward to more collaborations in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe they would need some musicians to be in games, and I think Raquel, you'd be a perfect choice for that kind of thing. So maybe there's
I think so too.
A gaming. What I don't want to say cameo. You could build a game around you. There we go. Dan,
I think that'd be dope.
Sort that out for us.
Question, Andy
yes.
And Raquel, if you were a video game character, what would you be?
Knuckles.
Would you be? Knuckles?
Like any character?
Yeah.
I would probably want to be like Bowser or something. I don't
know.
He seems like he's having so much fun. Like he's got a castle. He gets what he wants. Yeah. He gets to beat up on Mario. He never seems to die. And honestly, like judging by like his sheer mass, I'd say he probably eats what he wants. And that's literally like my dream come true. I don't know about y'all, but I would like to eat as much as I want, like Bowser. Eat as many mushrooms as I want. Jeez.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
I'm a little bit torn. I like The Last of Us, but from the impact the video games had on me, I'd probably go with Samus Aran from Super Metroid.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I quite like to be Bomb Jack as well.
Who's that? Like from Atomic Bomberman?
No, it was a game called Bomb Jack, and all he did was fly up in the air and then flap his way down again. It seemed like a good sort of way to live your life. Yeah. Just up and down, collecting coins or something, and then occasionally blowing stuff up. That was fun.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have any more gear this week?
Of course I have. Do you want me to proceed?
Yeah. I want to see what else your next pick.
My next pick of the week was, or actually is, this
Ooh.
John Petrucci, one of the greatest guitarists of all time and mastermind in Dream Theater, has announced a guitar series, the Music Man 20th anniversary, JP6, JP7, and Majesty. And we can take a closer look at some images, like promo images, and I gotta say, wow, guys at Music Man, you're really doing a great job of kind of capturing like the vibe of the instruments. And these are the instruments. So this is the Majesty, and this is the JP6. It's like a regular Majesty version and a regular JP6 or JP7 version with some like kind of specifics that are kind of subtle. So they feature a Honduran mahogany body with flame maple top, like both of them. And the Majesty version actually has that maple shield, that laser etched maple shield in the middle, and a neck through design with a mahogany neck, whereas the JP6 and 7 version has a mahogany body with flame maple top with a beautiful forearm scoop. And you can, like everyone who's not listening, who's watching the show, you can see that forearm scoop is one of the nicest things ever. I think Music Man did that like 20 years ago, and it was one of the first companies that offered such a super comfy scoop. So that was pretty cool to see. And what's so special about this is that they kind of have a hardware mix between black and gold, and they have cool shield inlays that come in gold looks, and they have the pickups that match. That's pretty rad. But what kind of struck me is that when I was looking at the photos, I was like, okay, that's nice. You know, it's not overwhelmingly nice, but it's nice. You can see it here in this image. But I highly recommend every one of you to check out the video that is available on YouTube at the channel of Music Man, because that actually shows some footage, and I'm showing you here some footage of the design process of the JP6 and also of the Majesty, which was called Stallion back in the day. And in the video, like JP explains why he wanted to, you know, the pots being moved to a certain position. And what strikes me here is that you see that there's actually a very subtle sparkle. So everything you see that is black or appears black in the video is actually very nicely sparkly. So it's got that super elegant touch to it. So I'm digging this. And having played the JP6 like several years before, I got to say, that's probably one of the nicest examples of that particular guitar. So yeah, limited edition for this year. I'm glad for JP that his primary choice of guitar now available is a limited edition, and I have no clue about the price yet. So it comes with a certificate of authenticity, and you know, his signature pickups. You've got the Dreamcatcher and the Rainmaker in the Majesty guitar, and the Crunch Lab and the Liquefier in the JP6 and JP7. And yeah, it's a pretty cool anniversary. I like those kind of anniversary guitars. So if you're in the market for a Music Man JP6 or Majesty, check out the anniversary ones. That's pretty cool. How do you like those, guys?
Raquel?
I think it's really nice body color. Like aesthetically, it's really clean. It definitely looks a little more on the almost like metal side.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like, so if that's kind of the look you're going for aesthetically, like, I think this would please any fancy metalhead. I mean, I guess it depends on the price, whether or not I'd go for it or not at this point.
It's probably not cheap.
It's not cheap. Not cheap.
Considering it's limited edition, I would bet that it's got a pretty penny on it.
Yeah. But I mean, we're diving into the gear topic later a little bit, but you're more like the semi-hollow or full hollow kind of guy, or what's your number one choice in terms of body style and specs?
Yeah, so growing up, I actually played a lot of metal. So you would have caught me playing like a Jackson or something like that, you know, which it was my choice. It was a Floyd Rose Jackson, and you know, something that I could drop real easily if I wanted to play something heavier. But nowadays, I play a hollow body because I actually kind of write more of like jazzy pop songs that sort of feel R&B, something that I could slap the body with for some sort of like a full a fuller sound, something a little bassier than just like a solid body guitar. So the hollow body, I find between the chord choices that I use and like this style, the rhythmic style that I play with, I think hollow bodies kind of complement my sound really well. A lot of people are always like, "Oh, why don't you play acoustic?" And I'm like, "Well, there's just something about the hollow body guitar that's just so buttery and smooth and unique tonally that I don't feel like I could get in a regular electric or just your regular acoustic guitar."
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to talk about your guitar because I can see it there, but we'll leave it for a little later just to tease people.
Yeah.
just that little much.
Right.
If I may, I've also got some picks.
Of
But
course.
just about the John Petrucci, I can't take my eyes off his beard. It's just
Enough
was
about guitar.
totally
Give us
distracted
more-
by that glorious.
Give us more beer.
Where is it? Where is it? Hang on.
Look
Look at it. Look at that beard. It should have a signature beard of his own. That's
He's
amazing.
got a signature beard wax or beard oil.
Does he?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
close
yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
Also, how big is he? Because I know I make guitars look small, but he makes that thing look like tiny.
I have images, but it's hard. I don't know.
I'll have to ask Chris. Chris has done stuff with him. Sarang says his beard looks like a Persian emperor.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
He could be like a main villain in 300.
Oh, I'd love
Yeah.
to see John Petrucci do acting. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Or the Oracle, he'd be up there like
Yeah.
on top of
Or
Mount Olympus.
Gandalf the Young. Something like that.
The Black Wizard of Mordor.
Apparently so, RJ. Okay, so I've got some picks of the week, which means I get to play my little sting as well.
Andy's pick of the week.
My pick of the week. I've got a guitar up first, Dan and Raquel. Sorry, we've got a guitar that's called the GTRS, which is guitars with all the vowels taken out by Moore, and it's a guitar that's got. It works as a regular guitar, but you might see this sort of knob with the green light down on it. It's got built-in pretty much everything. So built-in effects, built-in Bluetooth. So you've got an app. I'm not sure
Wow.
about built-in wireless, but it's got like a multi-effects inside the guitar that you can then change through an app with your phone. It's got with more pictures. There, it comes in 4 different colors.
These are
We've
nice.
got white, pink, blue, and surfy green. My eye is drawn to the pink straight away.
Yep.
What about you guys? Any choice so far?
Well, definitely the pink or the green one, right?
Yeah, I like that mint green one.
I don't know. They all look pretty good. They have a roast maple neck.
Sweet.
So regardless of how cool the stuff that's inside it, the guitar itself has to be good before you start adding any multi-effects to it. And with the roasted maple neck, from that picture, it doesn't look great to me. I've seen better necks. But if you look at the headstock, it doesn't look great. It looks okay, but not great.
But here's the thing. I think with product images, like we've just seen on the Music Man stuff, I mean, that's a guitar for $4,000. And if the images are not great, it spoils a lot. And, I see that like in my job every time that the actual product image, especially the lighting, is so vital to how the product is perceived. And I think there's a prime example. Maybe if you just like slightly tilted the headstock,
Yes.
it looked much nicer.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Then they've got the app, which is, I think that's iPad and iPhone. Oh, and Android as well.
oh,
So you've got an app, you just figure it out like any other multi-effects, a rack of pedals. There's a looper built in as well, so I'm hoping that the looper is
Sweet.
based on sound, so you can just start playing and it starts looping. That would be amazing. And then we've got the foot switch as well that comes with it. So the foot switch changes the effects that are built into the guitar via Bluetooth.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we know very little about it. It's coming out on Kickstarter. I was speaking to the company over the past few days and talking to the guy in America. He's getting one on Monday, so he's going to send me some more photos and some more information. I don't. I can talk price. How much do you think that's going to cost? Well, how much do you think it should cost? And that goes to the people in the chat as well. The new more GTRS. What do we think on price?
Difficult one. I mean, spec-wise, I definitely see that like at least in the 600 to 800 euros realm with roasted maple. But then, again, it's not like a big brand, so that kind of diminishes the value for a lot of people, and they might have to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to pricing the product. So maybe like $599.
Yeah. I was going to say 500 to 800 range. Someone in chat said, Trevor says 10,000.
10,000, Trevor.
That's a lot. But
Yeah.
I guess considering it's got all this new hardware, like Bluetooth capability and stuff, I would imagine they'd probably try and appeal to people just wanting to try out the product. I can't imagine them going past $1,000.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you guys kind of nailed it at the beginning to jump straight to it. Sarang, it's going to be around $699, that sort of area, $799.
Golf claps. Golf claps.
I think that's a hard sell because it's got to be a great guitar for that money to also have the multi-effect stuff as a bonus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think one is coming my way for a review, so I will play it and let you guys know. But it seems all right. But I know that it's going to be cheaper on Kickstarter, of course, or is it Indiegogo? I think it might be Indiegogo, but it's going to be cheaper there with, I think, up to 40% discount off that price.
Okay, so if someone would be interested to join the project, like what's the current price?
They haven't launched it yet. It's not currently launched.
Oh, not at
it's
all.
just
Okay.
It's pre-launch at the moment. I think it's launching any day now, as of the airing of this episode.
All right. Is that weird to kind of get all the specs out, but having the campaign started? Because if someone was pretty intrigued and wanted to do it right away, then it's got to wait and maybe find something else.
I don't know.
Just ask.
I don't know. I do not know. But who knows? They've never done that before. But my next pick is this pedal. This is the final pick of the show. This is a Vespa pedal, which if you watched my channel earlier, you would have seen the review and demo that I did. It's a fuzz pedal that's got my name on it.
Cute.
And I've left it open up so you can see the back, and it looks insane inside. So Beatronics are very famous for doing beautiful insides as well as outsides.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an octave fuzz. It's got a spluttery, disgusting fuzz. It's beautiful, and I love it. And I'm not showing it on the camera properly. But yeah, if you haven't seen the video on my channel, there's a video. I'll just do this so you can sort of see it like that. But yeah, it's beautiful. That's a custom one because they sent out custom ones to people like me. The regular one is black. Not everybody got a custom one. Like there's another guy called Ryan who's got a podcast. He didn't get a custom one. He just got a bog standard normal one. But it's really good. Raquel, what do you think of the aesthetics of that?
It's beautiful. It reminds me, there's a beer locally around here in Atlanta that's got a very similar, like psychedelic looking exterior, and I picked it up because it looked something like that. I was like, oh, it's got a pretty outside. Let's try it out. And it was actually really good. But yeah, based on aesthetics alone, I think it's very appealing. I wouldn't call it a good choice for someone who's very minimalistic, where you're picking out something because it's like a solid color. But yeah, I think it's a really pretty, very trippy, hippie-esque design there.
It's a very fat fuzz distortion style pedal. It sounds beautiful. Certainly not a singer-songwriter kind of pedal, or at least maybe not. I'd love to see you play that and fit that into a set of yours. That would be amazing because it's nasty and dirty in a beautiful way.
Yeah, I think it would depend on definitely the context and the aesthetic of the song itself. But yeah, I've used some weird effects before that surprisingly fit in the singer-songwriter context. But it really depends on who you are and like what your ears are kind of hearing. I mean, recently I used a tremolo on a song of mine. Like I was just playing solo and singing, and one of my friends was like, man, I really like that, like trippy, whatever you call it, like that wavy thing you were doing. And then My other friend was like, I wasn't digging it. It was very distracting. I'm like, okay, well, depends on who you are.
So 50-50.
Yeah. It's, depends on the beauty is in the eye of the hearer, the listener. Yeah.
Of course.
But, okay, so I'd definitely like to hear you play that pedal. I heard you do some, what's that wah wah horn? Wah 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 wah.
Oh,
That's in one of your tracks.
it's I have a stream deck, so it's got a bunch of like crazy sounds, and one of them is it's a DJ horn, like the yeah.
But it fits so well in that track. I was like, okay, yeah, that works. I never would have expected that, but it's really
You're talking
cool.
about Mary. It's got like a tropical vibe to it. Yeah.
If anyone hasn't heard the song Mary, then you should go and check it out. 'Cause it's got those in it. You had my attention, and then you really, you brought it home.
Wonderful.
So
excellent.
Let's talk. Let's put you up there so people can see you rather than us. Let's talk. Buy, borrow, or burn. Are you ready? We're going to burn one. We're going to buy one, and we're going to borrow one.
I borrow or burn.
Oh, we have a horn as well. Cool. So, I think we should let the guest go first, Dan. Should we remind everybody of what we had? We had my Vespa Pedal and the Moore guitar. And Dan, what did you have? You had the Petrucci signatures, the limited editions.
And I had the Final Fantasy.
The Final Fantasy Fender.
Yeah.
So you've got to buy one, Raquel, you've got to borrow one, and you've got to burn one. And therefore you have to ignore one because there's 4 things.
All right. I'm probably gonna take the road less taken. Is that how they say that?
Less traveled.
Less traveled. All right. So I'm gonna hurt someone's feelings for sure. We're gonna burn your pedal. I'm just kidding. As he's drinking.
Oh, thank you.
Got him. No, I'd probably borrow that just because I would want to see what it sounds like. You always have to try out a pedal before you purchase or decide to keep it in your collection, unless you're like absolutely certain you want it. So I'd probably borrow your pedal.
You may.
I would. Okay, so hear me out. The Petrucci guitar, as beautiful as it is, it looks like it would really make an excellent campfire.
Whoa! You heard it here. Nice firewood.
It looks like really good fodder for some fire.
Yeah.
And then that would leave me to buy the Final Fantasy guitar, just because it's marketed Final Fantasy. It's got a bit of purple in it. It's got to match my hair. If we're trying to be purely aesthetics here, one of them looks like firewood. One of them looks like my hair. Gonna keep the one that looks like my hair. But in all honesty, I'm sure the one I would burn probably sounds amazing and stuff. But we're just gonna keep what I said, because
it's your choice. It's your
just
grave.
because
It's your funeral.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going against the grain here, and I'm just gonna stick to it.
Well, apparently yours was a perfect answer. There's no. Is that someone you know? They're coming from Twitch. That's one of our first Twitch comments.
Yeah, I've got a few of my Twitch peeps in here.
Thank you.
Dan, what is that?
The most British. That was the most polite British.
I don't know what that was. But I thought I felt it and I went with it.
There you go.
Shut up! You were going to burn a Petrucci guitar.
You're right.
Right. Dan, do you want to go second or third?
I go last.
Okay, then it's my choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that up there. Pretend it's for me. Perfect answer. Thank you very much. I'm going to avoid the pedal because I've already got it. I'm going to. I've forgotten the options now. The Moore guitar, the Petrucci, and the 3 guitars. I'm going to buy the Fender the Final
Alright.
Fantasy Fender, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to borrow the Moore and burn the Petrucci.
No, that's 2.
All right,
Oh
guys.
my goodness.
Nobody
oh my
wants that
goodness.
guitar. Just
There you go. Okay.
take that limited edition and limit it to the fire.
All right, there you go. So then I gotta go the opposite. I'm definitely picking the JP6 because it's super comfy and it plays well and it looks cool. So I'll definitely go for that one. I would, and now it gets super geeky. I'm sorry, Raquel, but now it gets super geeky. I would actually borrow the pedal just to see how it fits to the Boba Fett Maya's bust.
Wow. Okay.
We both are big Star Wars geeks, and
Very nice.
A friend of mine just sent me this like some sort of Maya-inspired bust of Boba Fett, and that
That
pedal
fits really well.
reminded me so
Yeah,
much.
it really does.
Of that, yeah. So it's some sideshow collectible. I think it's super expensive, like $160 or something.
What's the size of that bust? Is it like we
Uh,
talking like
it's
life
like-
size?
No. It's like maybe the height of. I mean, if you pile up 3 apples, to give you
Okay.
some dimension.
So
Yeah.
3
okay,
apples.
okay.
Yeah, well, one flounder or whatever, I don't know. It's like 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters, I don't know. It's like, yeah. What? Go away.
If you take half a ripe melon, add a banana. What? Sorry.
You're killing me. Yeah, and I would burn the... not the Final Fantasy guitar. I would just leave the Final Fantasy guitar for you guys. I'd probably burn the Bluetooth monstrosity.
Yeah. Fair.
It's fair. It's harsh, but it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm digging the colors, but I gotta say it's not really original because to me it looks like if they are heavily inspired by Schecter's Nick Johnson line in terms of the colors and the overall look. And as you know, I'm not a big fan of like too much digital components, so I hope it doesn't end up just as a gadget that people check out and then put away after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I super want to try one just because
Of
it has
course.
to be a great guitar and the effect's got to be okay. But I really want to try one, which is why I can't burn it
Oh, there you go.
because then I can't play it, you know? Sad times. Well, some people in the chat have answered the same question, and we've got... I'm trying to drag stuff everywhere. This is a new interface. JP6, buy that one, burn the Bluetooth, borrow the fuzz pedal, and fix it because it sounds broken. Oh,
Or
so
buy the
broken.
cat.
I missed that part.
That one?
Probably.
Mr. Higgins, was that his name?
Oh, no, his name's Rigby.
Rigby. Where did I get
Like
Mr.
Eleanor
Higgins
Rigby.
from? Ah,
Yeah, all my cats are named after Beatles songs.
All right.
okay. Okay, then big question. What's your other cat called?
I've got one named Penny,
Oh.
Penny Lane, and then we've got Lucy from Lucy in the Sky, who is completely, definitely the epitome of her name. She's a very spacey cat. Meows at the walls. Who knows what she's seeing or hallucinating? So it's very suiting.
Do you plan on getting other ones? And
You know, I'm young and I have an entire lifetime to become the crazy cat lady that I aspire to be. So hopefully my career is fruitful and then I could support multiple cats in my life.
I think it's the dream. It's the dream. We've got people answering questions that we didn't ask in the chat, but that's fine. That's fine. I guess now is the time to get some questions in for our wonderful guest today, because I think we're going to move on to the old Twitch conversation, which Dan and I were talking about earlier, Raquel, and it was, we know very little, a dangerous amount. So
Nice.
you are going to school us, and we're all going to make a severe, obscene amount of money out of it.
Awesome. Awesome. Number one, you got to get a hot tub. Number two, you got to... Anyways. the current
I've
Twitch
got
meta.
a pen, and with pen I shall write hot tub.
Yeah.
Hot tub.
Tub time
Okay,
machine.
no taken.
Spell it right now. Spell it right.
No, so seriously, when did the whole like Twitch thing kind of take off for you? Like you said, you started like playing the guitar and
Yeah.
building an audience.
Yeah. So when I first started, I went to school for neurobiology. Music has always been kind of like a side hustle or a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college, and while I was pursuing all that stuff, I just kept, making music. Got out of college, started working, and while I was working, I was really miserable, and my outlet was to just like game for hours on end. So I started playing FPS games like Overwatch and Battlefield, and I played so long for like an entire shift. I mean, like night and day. I was just, if I had free time, I was gaming. I felt really bad that I just wasn't making any friends or like kind of, I guess, promoting my music in any way. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get on Twitch, and every time I game, I'm just going to start talking about my music. And that kind of developed into like, while I was gaming, people would request songs and I'd karaoke them as I was like shooting people in the face.
Wow.
And that became kind of like my shtick for a while. And my audience was growing, but it wasn't, I was building a smaller audience, but it wasn't like, we're not talking like hundreds of people here. We're just talking about dozens. And eventually I actually picked up a tour, quit my job, was able to kind of sustain myself doing a college circuit. So I started playing all these schools around the US.
Uh-huh.
And I would go out for like 2 to 3 months at a time. And I decided, man, I can't really take my stream with me. So I think I'm going to start streaming my music. And I became one of the first, they called them IRL streamers. They still kind of call them IRL, which is in real life.
Yeah.
And this is just streams away from your computer. And this is kind of just going out into the outside world, into the sunlight, and kind of just showcasing your life. And that's what I would do. And I would just stream these shows, and sometimes my Twitch people come out and meet me. So by the time I came back from tour, I started gaming again. And lo and behold, my entire audience, I've completely cannibalized. And I was like, I can't really do this anymore, because like it took me like months to build this audience, and all of a sudden everybody wants to see me do music. So it worked in my favor, because I just started pursuing music at home.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, I actually got partnership. At the time, they didn't have music as a category at all. It was just creative and then gaming. So I became a creative partner, and that was kind of my hustle for 4+ years. And I've been on I think this September or November is going to be my 5th year streaming. And eventually I was able to stop taking side gigs. When you're a musician, you got to kind of pursue like wedding gigs and like bar gigs and all that. So it came to a point where I was making more revenue live streaming my performances at home, or if I have a concert with my band, I'll like bring my stream. And I started making money off of my subs, my donations, bits, etc. All this other revenue that you could get on Twitch, not to mention selling all my merch and CDs and all kinds of merch and like different kind of memorabilia, I guess, like concert posters, etc. And yeah, that just kind of became my hustle in the past few years, and just promoting my music through Twitch and kind of taking my audience and funneling them into my other streaming services like Spotify, or even things like Instagram and Twitter, just to keep kind of everybody kind of engaged with what I'm doing. And that's really just been my primary hustle in the past 4 or so years. And yeah, I've been really lucky in that I was there before I call it the big pandemic boom, because I think music really became much more prevalent on Twitch and other streaming services when everybody was forced to stay home and no one can gig at restaurants or clubs, and everybody had to find a new outlet. So I was there while that was happening. So I was really fortunate in that I wasn't really affected, and I just kept pursuing the thing that I've been doing.
Wow. Right. So you, for us, like Twitch uneducated guys, like you said, you became a Twitch partner. Is that correct? So what does it imply? Like,
So the difference between just I guess a regular streamer and a partner implies that you have amassed an audience such that you could sustain X amount of people. So I think the average is usually like if you could sustain 100 people or more. I mean, the partnership requirements always change. So I think if you can sustain 100 people for like over 30 days, I think that was like that's what the credentials were back then. But I'd imagine it's probably something similar. So with partnership, you can actually start to monetize your content. But there's something called an affiliate, which is like partner light.
Yeah.
These are people who are just dipping their toes into the platform and wanting to create revenue through subscriptions. Okay. So on YouTube and other platforms, you don't have to pay to subscribe to someone. So on YouTube, it's almost like equivalent to a Twitch follow. So if you follow someone, it's free. But on Twitch, when you subscribe to them, you're paying per month to support your creator, whether that's a musician or a gamer or whatever. And people can decide to resubscribe to every month. And Twitch gets a cut of it, you get a cut of it. So obviously, the more subscribers you have, the steadier paycheck's going to be and bigger that paycheck's going to be.
And is that like on a pay what you want basis, or do they have like certain subscription levels?
Yeah, there's tiers. There's the $5 tier, the $10 tier, and then the $25 tier. And as the creator, you have to incentivize people to want to give you that subscription. You know, first of all, they're going to want your content. But on Twitch, there's this whole community that subscribes because of your emotes. So like if you have fun emotes, like people in chat right now are spamming my cat emotes. I've got a few. And you know, it's really what you build with your community is like, if you could build a culture around you or the thing that you do and people can kind of relate to that, I think then it's going to be easier to gather a family, so to speak.
And is it just out of curiosity, is that like a 50-50 split of the subscription amount?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
Dan, you're quite quiet, Dan. If you want to just bring your mic a little closer.
Yeah, sure.
Quite difficult to hear you.
Yeah. Sorry,
Raquel.
No, it's cool. So after I think when you're a partner or an affiliate, typically you're a partner at this point. If you can sustain 500 subs, this is something that a lot of Twitch people actually don't know. But if you're a partner and you can sustain 500 subs for 3+ months, then you can renegotiate your contract and do a 70-30 split. And they don't tell you that, but that's something you can do, which I've done. And I knew a few months in, which I should have known earlier, but that's not really something they advertise.
Yeah.
Right.
How is it
sneaky?
Dealing with the people at Twitch, is that like a big a group of people that are kind of your go-to guys if you have any questions and want to do business stuff, or how does it work? Because usually like YouTube, Instagram, and all that stuff, that's pretty hard to get hold of those kind of guys on those platforms. Yeah.
So it's different for everybody, and I can't speak for every single person.
Okay.
There's actually something called a partner manager. So they deal with, they're kind of like your liaison and the person who speaks in the corporate office when they're trying to figure out, oh, well, we have a front page thing here. Which streamers do you think would be good to pitch for this opportunity? And you would want a Twitch partner, but you're not, just because you're a partner, you're not guaranteed to have a partner manager. Mm-hmm. Some people get one right off the bat. Some people never have one and they are unaware that Twitch partners exist. But from what I understand, I think that's something Twitch is kind of working towards, like trying to get more employees to represent actual partners. Mm-hmm. And one manager represents like probably dozens of Twitch partners, I'd imagine. But I got really lucky in the beginning. This was something that I knew existed. And I was like, hey, who's my partner manager? Who's my partner manager? Typically, when you're trying to talk to Twitch, you're just going to be thrown into like a queue of, you go to like the help page and then they try and throw you into the, did this solve your problem? And you're going to have to fight through mostly robots. But if you're lucky and you know how to be consistent and pester people, then you could eventually reach reach a person. Or you could be like me, tacky like me, and just tweet at tweet stuff and make Twitch angry. Which I've done before. I've done that before. I've made a stink, and usually Twitter gets her attention. And yeah.
So you Twittered that something was wrong, and then they kind of jumped in that wagon and tried to solve that for you, or is that like?
Yeah. So I've talked to you guys about how I've been on Twitch. I'm one of like the OG music people, whatever that means. I've just been there for as long as Twitch music existed.
Okay.
So they were having a huge online concert with like Charlie Puth, Barry Gibb,
Wow.
Garth Brooks. I mean, like you name them, they were on it. John
Yeah.
Legend was on it with his
Holy
Grammys
cow.
shining in the back. So they were advertising this thing at the beginning of the pandemic as
Okay.
it was like a fundraiser for Pank One World Health Organization, like raising money for people in need suffering through the COVID pandemic. And me as a Twitch partner, I've done so many for free fundraisers in the past that were hugely successful. I've raised thousands of dollars, and nobody on the bill was a Twitch partner.
Oh wow.
There was a huge community at that point of musicians, very capable professionals, people who play for a living, people who want to play for a living. And I was just so like distraught that number one, I didn't know about this event. I'm like, how could they have a huge concert on my platform without me knowing? And number two, like, how did they sneak this around us and think that this was going to be okay? So I just, I made a really, really not even passive aggressive. I was just like, this is BS. Like, that's cool. Like, ignore all the very capable musicians on the platform and then just put all these like, signed label babies. Makes us feel like this platform's our home. Yeah, guys, way to go. And I didn't really tweet it just like to get people to like it. Yeah, well, like share the hate, but like a lot of people retweeted it. Mm-hmm. There were a few people like Twitch partners who were like, you're just doing this because you're being selfish, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, even if I am, like, you can't deny that I'm not. Like, do you see any Twitch partner, even if they weren't playing music, like no Twitch partners are a part of this? Isn't that weird? And so I made a big enough stink that Twitch actually reached out and they're like, hey, we saw your tweet and like, we understand your concern. How would you like to play between Barry Gibb and Garth Brooks? And I'm just like, yeah. Woo! Go ahead.
Yeah, were you the sole artist that was then implemented and included in that event, or were there more?
It was me and
my
friend Megan and I. When I tweeted that, she like immediately got behind it, and her and I just caused like this whole internal ruckus between like the music community and then like all our other streamer friends and everybody like kind of standing behind it, and people just retweeting it by the hundreds. And yeah, anyway, needless to say, there are real humans that work for Twitch, and if you tweet something hard enough, they might see it.
We have a question for you from Valeria.
Yeah, for sure.
It's on screen now. Was it hard to get partner? Because I understand you need to stream for 27 hours a month, I think, and streams should be longer than 2 hours, etc. There's a lot of requirements.
It depends on your content, I would say I probably would stream when I would stream a bunch. Right now I'm kind of taking a little bit of a stream break to work on an album, but when I stream regularly, I easily hit 40 hours a month. I mean, 27 hours a month is probably at the minimum of what I would do. And each of my streams are like 3+ hours long. So if you're streaming something you like, it's easy to hit that hour requirement. But to answer the question, is it hard to get partner? It's hard to sustain an audience on any platform. I think, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or Instagram or whatever. But you just like, I think the key is like, you have to be consistent with it, and you have to stream something that brings you joy, because at the end of the day, people want to see you have fun. And if you're not having fun, it's not fun to watch. Like when I was streaming Overwatch, for instance, I would get I would rage. I'm such a competitive person. And in my head, when I was playing, like I was having fun, but I would watch my stream back and I'd see me like, "Rah!" like freaking out. It's not fun to watch someone be genuinely upset that, like someone killed them unfairly. It's just not fun. Like, so as long as you're having fun, and I know that's so like cliche or whatever to say, but being genuine about like having fun goes such a long way. And if you're faking having fun, people can see that, especially if you're live streaming. Mm-hmm. So before going into it, before thinking about like, oh, how hard it is, I think the more difficult question is, what would you want to stream for that long? And like, how much can you do that consistently before it, like, it starts getting to you? So you have to figure out what you want to stream to begin with.
Mm-hmm. That's a really, really good point. It's the same for what I do here. I love guitars, but sometimes I think I could do without a guitar for a few days, but then there's the pressure to create content. But absolutely with streaming, we're streaming now, of course, but I don't do that much of it because, I don't know why, but mainly because I don't think I have the stamina to keep an audience for that long. But yeah, I take my hat off to anybody who's doing 40 hours a month. That sounds insane to me. But are your streams is there a plan? Is there like a set list, or is it just totally rolling with it as it goes?
Yeah, so the other day, for instance, I streamed a live concert. So I already came up with a set list, and my people knew I was going to perform for an hour. And in that way, like, they can't really interact and influence my set list at that point. But when I'm at home and I'm streaming and interacting with everyone, it's actually a subscriber-based. If you're a subscriber, you could request a song for my set list or my song list, which has like 300 plus songs on it. And you can actually influence what I'm about to play. And if you, let's say like you want to skip the line, you could tip, or you could give subs, or you could do all sorts of things to influence the set list. And so it just really depends on who's in there that day. But generally, yeah, the audience picks the set list. And some days I tell my people this, I'm like, some days you guys pick crappy songs. Like, and so people are like, oh, I want you to play something more upbeat. I'm like, blame so-and-so. They asked for the emo song.
What's the concept about like sending someone subs? Like, where do they come from? What does it basically mean?
Sorry, can you repeat that first part?
Yeah, you said like some people could also send you subs, kind of to
gift, yes.
Yeah, to gift you subs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that concept about?
So gifting subs is similar to subscribing yourself. So you as an individual can either subscribe for free through Amazon Prime if you have an account that's linked up with your email. You could just do that for free. You don't pay anything technically, directly actually, but you could use that to subscribe. But if you are an individual who wants to like give subs, you could just take your money, credit card, whatever, and you could send 5 subs to 5 random people, or you could pick somebody like specific in the chat. Like, hey, I like this guy. He says he likes her content. I want him to stick around. I'm going to give him a sub. So you could actually gift subs to either random people or individuals that you choose. Right. And you could gift as many subs as you want. I mean, you could sit there and give 1,000 subs. I don't know who would do that, and that's few and far in between, but yeah, technically you could gift as many subs as you want.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept. And what about a schedule? Like, how do you kind of maintain, or do you kind of maintain a regular schedule that you say like twice or 3 times a week you're going to stream at 10 o'clock, or does that vary? Like, how do you kind of, keep like a stable schedule, but still able to live like an ordinary life, or kind of, take gigs and work on your album? How does that work?
The word ordinary life and streamer do not go hand in hand. Okay. Truthfully though, I treat it like any job I would have. I mean, I for the past year and a half, I did 3 times a week, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I would do like 3-hour blocks, 3 to 4 hour blocks. But before that, I primarily streamed at night because as a musician, I was really used to doing like these nighttime gigs. So I would do like 7 to 10. And I did that for years, 3 to 4 times a week. So it really depends on like what I'm doing. I mentioned before that I'm working on an album. So I realized streaming 3 to 4 times a week and trying to finish an album, especially because I'm self-producing and I don't really have a team or anything like that. It's hard to kind of have multiple people doing that at the same time, especially if it's just me. So I cut down my stream to once a week. So I have like a once a week concert, and then everybody can follow all my other socials while I'm kind of living my life and doing my thing. Another thing that I do to try and stick with a consistency, because I travel and I'm a musician that actually does go to different places to tour and whatnot, I bring my streaming rig with me. So I bring my mixing board, my interface, my laptop, a microphone, mic stand, guitar, my basic setup, and I'll bring it with me just so I could stick to the schedule.
So you stream the actual concerts you're doing? So you say you're playing in a bar or some event. Is that also streamed?
I try to, yeah. And I try to incentivize everybody to come through and, if that's not my only stream of that day, I try to, let's say like a stream earlier that day or whatever, I'll try and promote it and be like, hey, come back at 7 p.m. I'm playing this set. So yeah, it's definitely something I try and incorporate every time I do have an event. I try to bring my audience along because I mean, they're a big reason why my music really is anything or has any legs is because that's how a lot of people learn about my original music. And so it's kind of just like an extra community reward for them to either be there and interact. And I mean, some of these people live across the globe, or some people like are just unable to get out of their house for whatever reason, so I just like to provide that source of entertainment for them because not everybody is able to go out. I mean, besides the pandemic, there are other struggles that people have, and I try to be accommodating to them as well.
Good point. And do you follow any of those like OG guitar players that are now active on Twitch, like Herman Lee and Matt Heafy, those kind of guys? Is that like?
Yeah, I'm actually friends with Matt Heafy.
Oh wow.
He was one of the first Twitch music. Like he was there. He's an OG. Like he's an OG Twitch. Person.
Yeah,
like he's been on there, so I give him mad props to being on there. Herman Lee I've rated once before. I've never really interacted with him. He's usually like busy doing his own thing. Like I've rated him right before Dragon Force got on stage, and so like there's not much of a hey Raquel, hey Herman. But Matt and I was actually in one of his music videos.
No way.
He did like a Twitch. He did like a Twitch music video. I forgot what it's called, but he asked a bunch of his friends to like lip sync and like play guitar to this song that he wrote, and I made a little cameo.
Nice.
Which is funny because I listened to Trivium growing up, so it was really trippy.
You mentioned raiding. Can you explain what a raid is and what you did with Herman Lee? Because you've just lost me now. Please. Yeah,
so a raid is basically you're taking your audience or your community, and instead of just logging off and being like, all right, guys, bye, guys, I'll see you later. Instead of doing that, you're actually taking them and putting your community into somebody else's community or channel at the end of your stream before you log off. Yeah. And so this way, you're saying hi with like 400 people. It's like Raquel has rated your channel with blah, X amount of people. And it gets the streamer's attention. It gets your community interacting with their community. And you're kind of just meshing communities. And it's like passing off the torch to somebody else, basically.
Yeah, which is a very social aspect of the whole like social media channels. Usually
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to kind of get that transition being organized in a very very smooth way. But that's a pretty rad idea.
Yeah. And it helps people actually. This goes back to the first question. I forgot. I think it was Valeria who asked, "How hard is it to get partner?" One of my friends who was struggling with his numbers, one of the ways we helped him out was that we kept rating him every night. And although Twitch can see in their metrics that like most, like if it happens too often, Twitch can be like, you've been getting your numbers because so-and-so has been rating you. We have to wait until those people become actual community members. But that's one of the things you can do, is to go into other people's channels, make friends, and essentially have like try and influence them to raid you. It's really rude to be like, hey, raid me, streamer. But if you become a part of their community, it's more likely of a chance that they'll actually check out your channel, especially if you're a smaller streamer, check out your channel and want to help you out. Because if you're part of the community, it's less disingenuous than being like, I don't know you, I've been here for the first time, but I need you to put your people in my channel.
And like business questions, is that something that is also like being sold unofficially, like that people get paid for rating someone else's channel in order to help him kind of grow an audience?
I mean, I'm sure on the back end it happens. It's not very conventional, nor is it. I would imagine it's not really something that I would want to say out loud. Like if I was paying someone off to raid my channel,
Yeah, sure.
But there are organizations that actually do facilitate something like that. Like,
all right, okay.
There are kind of sponsored / business transactions that do happen that way. But usually streamers don't really. That's not really a thing that we do. Is like, hey, I'll pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. But you know how it is. Usually such a platform kind of grows in a very organic way, and once companies and also like the business people, the big influencers kind of figure out that they can make a lot of money from there, then kind of want to artificially grow, because it's kind of, it always strikes me that people that can have a massive Twitch following, can have a massive TikTok following, or a massive Instagram following, and it doesn't kind of correlate. So you can have like a super big channel on, let's say, TikTok, and have almost no audience on Instagram or Twitch, and vice versa. And that's kind of, there's like, I think, a very unique audience for each and every channel, and
absolutely,
it's like a different universe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I experience the same thing with my social platforms as well. It's like different niche. It requires a different kind of entertainment. And, it would be more convenient for me to have the same exact content for every single, like on my TikTok and Twitch and Instagram, like if I had the same thing, it'd be so convenient. But then, as an audience member, why would I want to follow you on all those platforms that you're not really, like if I want to watch you live, I'd rather watch you on Twitch and I wouldn't even bother. So it's, you have to figure out how to like make them all kind of seamlessly fit together, yet be able to cater to each one individually.
I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram where you're doing comedy stuff, and it's really funny. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really entertaining. And firstly, thank you for making it. But also, I was quite surprised to see someone who's a great musician, someone who's a good singer, a good guitar player, knows what they're doing with this whole platform stuff, and then also be able to do comedy, because those things don't often come together. Whereas you seem to be very clear with managing that, like Dan just said about managing all these different social platforms. Is the comedy stuff something you plan to do, or did you fall into it, or do you force it, or how does it come about?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, like, thank you. I think it's a matter of perspective. To me, I'm a hot mess, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing on any of my platforms, and I'm kind of just like, I just got to create. Like, I'm just the classic creator or the creative that's just like verbal diarying these jokes, and like it's not as thought out as I wish it would be, but it's nice that it looks like that from the outside. But as far as the comedy thing, I think I got really frustrated with my Twitch channel. A lot of the times when I'm speaking, or like when I'm being trolly, or if I'm kind of I don't know, like making jokes on my channel, a lot of the new people who are looking through the music category on Twitch are expecting me to just be this jukebox. And a lot of people, like new people especially, none of my people who like have been there and enjoy me for my content and quality would ever say this in a million years. But some people are like, hey, shut up and sing. Or like, play Wonderwall, and like just just are being rude. Like nobody would say this in a music club. Nobody in their right mind would go in public and be like, "Hey, shut up and sing," unless like you're a douche and you want to get kicked out of the club. But it's the internet, so I think I just got really frustrated with the fact that like Twitch wasn't really that outlet for me where I could just be like make these niche jokes and be silly. And then and so I started making for the longest time I was kind of averse to TikTok just because I'm like, oh, it's just for kids, whatever, like too old for that. And yeah, so then it became it became my comedy outlet because on my Instagram I actually do like short form videos on my stories, but I realized the people that I'm catering to are just the people who already follow me. And I just, not that I felt like it was a waste, but I didn't feel like I was growing or like finding new people who want to see that type of content. So then, yeah, I just kind of, just for fun, started doing TikTok stuff and doing short form videos on there and doing my short jokes on there instead of Instagram so much. And I grew really fast. I mean, I'm really new to TikTok. Unfortunately, I waited too long to get on there, but it's another outlet for me to do comedic style videos, which I can then repost on things like Instagram Reels. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're very similar video platforms. I mean, there's the Instagram pictures that I always upload to, or I try to, which is very different from my Instagram Reels, which are like these stupid 15-second videos that I make. So yeah, comedy is definitely something that, like, I don't know. I never really saw myself as like, oh yeah, like I'm a funny person. Like I wouldn't describe myself as a funny person, but people laugh plenty at me. So, I think, yeah, if I had the chance to pursue it, I would. I wouldn't do something like stand up. I think that's probably really hard. But I think I'm really good at live stuff. So like whether that's like performing and getting better at stage banter and being like just a funny musician on stage. And I watch plenty of bands that they don't even talk to the audience or have a personality up there. So I'd want to be one of the people who actually like banters with the audience. Mm-hmm. I think that makes me a better performer. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to making, like, if somebody approached me to make like comedy videos, like I'd be down.
Cool. I think you should. I really think that I like the way that you're doing different stuff on different platforms and sort of categorizing you as a person, you as a creative, and having these different outlets. And it's something that I struggle with because I don't know if I am funny. I do funny, silly things. But then I play a serious song. And I'm like, that feels like it's grating against each other. Like I'm playing a singer-songwriter song about something that means a lot to me, and then I am dressed in a costume doing something stupid.
Right, yeah.
So I'm really going to follow, not that you were kind of giving advice, but follow some of the stuff you've just said about, categorizing that and really trying not to post the same stuff on every platform. It's but then of course you've got the Instagram Reels and TikTok and now YouTube Shorts, which is YouTube always seems to be slightly behind everybody else, and then they panic, and then they suddenly release something. So, what do you think, or is there yet the next? So, for me, Twitch and TikTok seem to be the kind of most up to date things. Is there going to be another platform on which we should be streaming?
I know a lot of people. I mean, there's always going to be new platforms. Like for a while, was contracted to perform on this platform called Caffeine. Mm-hmm. It was awful. I hated it. All my people hated it, but I was paid to be there and it sucked. So there's always going to be platforms like that where they're always going to try and get creators to like hop on the thing. But I think for now, like Twitch is going to continue to grow. I think it's going to stick around because it's an Amazon company. Mm-hmm. And I think YouTube's always going to be a household name. Like it's going to be hard to take that down. And then there's like competitors like Mixer that went down. And I think there's always going to be companies like Mixer that is like a big investor behind it. And then it fails for whatever reason. I think the future of things is going to be short form videos. I think whether a new app's going to come out that's going to be like sort of like TikTok, I don't know, but I definitely think there's a future in short form videos because our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, and I just think this is like the new form of media consumption is like portrait style short form videos.
It's really hard to play guitar in portrait style.
It is. You have to like, yeah, believe me. Every time I have to repost like my wide lens stuff, I just have to. Man, why did I move over to the side a little bit? I can't post that. It's a dilemma.
Sorry, Dan.
Speaking of, by the way, shall we like proceed a little bit into the gear segment because actually it's called the Guitar Stories podcast, and I was super intrigued to hear your personal guitar story, and there was some very cool guitar kind of lurking around the background.
Let's put.
Oh yeah, I got this one. This is my travel guitar. It's the Gretsch. Hang on, 5655 TG. And I really like it because it's nothing like my full hollow bodies. This is a semi. It's much lighter, so I could stand for hours and play it. My full hollow bodies are about the size of mine. Like the body itself is probably bigger than my torso. So to hold that thing for 3 hours is a pain in the neck, a literal pain in the neck. And traveling on a plane with this thing doesn't scare flight attendants. Usually when I show up with a full hollow body, people are like, oh my, that's a guitar? Oh goodness. And I'm like, yeah. And it never fits on the overhead. So it's just like such a pain in the ass to bring. But yeah, I have about 4 Gretches now. And actually, hang on, let me think. 3 Gretches. And then I have a 4th one coming, which Gretsch is actually sending me.
Nice.
That would have been my next question. Are the companies already aware that there's a big audience on those kind of newer channels such as Twitch and TikTok? Like, are you working? I don't know. Like, who's your go-to guy? Is it Mike Taft or who's
Mike Taft? Yeah, that's my guy.
Oh, there you go. He was
Mike
the
Taft
former
is great.
Ibanez AR. For a
Yes,
long
he
time.
was.
Yes,
Yeah. Mike Taft actually reached out, and they're coming out with a new. I can't tell you the model. I cannot remember off the top of my head which one it is, but they're asking me to play it. But yeah, there's a few reps that I have, like including Orange. They were a few years ago just learning about Twitch and knowing that music was kind of like a space that they wanted to explore. And so that was kind of my selling point. I'm like, I'd be your first Twitch sponsor. Would you want to do that? Or sponsoree? Let's see, QSC Audio. They're another brand that I work with, and they're very savvy on like the new frontier of music, and they work with people like Jam in the Van. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of
Jam in the Van. Yeah, that's one of the events I would love to do. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, Jam in the Van, based out of LA, and they're just all really well connected. Like all these artist sponsors, like they know each other. They all know each other. So my QSC guy actually was the one who introduced me to most of my reps. Rode is another company that I work with who I initially approached and was like, hey, Twitch, it's a thing. Like Blue Microphones is in the space. Y'all could become like the music thing. And it's funny, like now if you look on any streamer, on any music streamer, this is my claim to fame. I started the Rode trend on the music side of Twitch because I became their first music partner. And then everybody's like, oh my God, how can I get one? And so they just started giving all these free Rode like NT1As to everybody. Like, you get an NT1A, you get an NT1A. So then eventually every single music partner had a Rode. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of popped their Twitch cherry. So yeah, there's definitely a bunch of companies that are willing to work with Twitch musicians just because it's like just such new terrain and something that they heard of or their son watches that they want to be familiar with.
Yeah. Sounds good. And I mean, I don't want to go too deep into details, but you know, they probably do not expect like a regular product presentation from your side? Is it like just about the actual product placement, or do those kind of deals also like comprise more like, I don't know, talking about the actual product? Because you see that a lot on YouTube, you know, in the midst of a video, then someone, you know, goes, all right, this is Raid Shadow Legends, blah, 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 blah. And this video is brought to you by, which I find super annoying and mostly is not a real good fit, but you seeing kind of using products that you would actually buy if, you know, we're not in a position to kind of get them at a special discount or even for free. That's rather more like, it has more credibility to it. But what is like generalized the expectation from those kind of companies? Is it just like, you know, show the gear and kind of represent it and hold a camera, or is it like?
It depends. I've done multiple like different deals. So like for Rode, it's kind of just like product placement. For Orange, it's kind of just product placement. But my rule of thumb is I don't work with anyone I don't want to. So I've said no to multiple companies whose gear that I'm actually like, I would never use that. Like, why would I use that? Yeah. Or I've actually also worked with people who, like, for instance, not going to name names. I had a company that I worked with, a microphone company, that I was just like, you know what? This is garbage compared to what I had. I'm going to go back to my old sponsor. Yeah, so like, I just like staying true to your brand and not being like, this is sponsored by Rode. Like, that's kind of annoying. Although I have, there haven't been any instrument or equipment companies that have done that, but I've worked with other sponsors like VPNs and like other, I guess, more gamer savvy companies where you do have to be explicit about your sponsorship with them. So it just depends on who it is.
I mean, the legal, go on.
Yeah, most the people that I've worked with are just placement. Everybody, like, especially the instrument people, they care more about placement, or even like a banner, like a rotating banner on the side of your stream that kind of just flashes like every 15 seconds kind of thing. Like that. Those are typical asks, or deliverables is what they're called.
Okay. And do you have to disclose that something is sponsored? Because like on YouTube and other platforms, you kind of have to either, you know, edit in the comment, or even kind of indicate on YouTube there's that little, you know, sponsored information tag. Like, how does it work to kind of, you know, because IRS got to be watching the Twitch channels too, because you make a lot of money obviously on those channels, and there are big even bigger Twitch guys on there that make a very decent living from that. So how does it work?
Like I said, it depends on the deal, and it depends on what the company wants. Some people are really just okay with having a just like they're called panels. So underneath, so if you picture this as my stream, there's like panels on the bottom that you could click on and stuff. Some companies are totally okay with you just being like powered by Adorama or whatever. Okay. But yeah, there's definitely been videos where I've done, so for instance, I worked with Gator, and they wanted me to do an unboxing video, and the whole time I kind of am naturally already saying like, Gator sent me this, Gator. But I was very explicit, like, I'm going to unbox this thing by Gator. So there's a way you could do it that's a little bit less cringy, where you're like, you know, sponsored by Gator, like very fake. And that's the thing, like, creators need to realize too, there's a way to do things genuinely where you're not completely like sucking up or like not being yourself.
I think it's all about the actual fit between the product and the person it's represented by. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
For me, there's been some products that, if I look back at my channel, I kind of wish I hadn't done. It's a very, very small list. But some products I did do because I felt pressure to get the income. You know, there's some you can't always choose. Like in the time I stopped having a job and started doing YouTube full time, there are a few products. Of course, I've said no to products, and generally speaking, I say no many times a week. But some of them, I look back and think that wasn't a great fit. And in fact, even with Ibanez done, there was, when we first started working together, there were some guitars that were more metal oriented. That I then managed to find my way of doing that guitar. Yep. So a non-metal guy plays a metal guitar, for example. And as long as you keep it, as you said, authentic and real and not too cheesy, then everything's fine, I think.
Yeah. And
We got a
oppositely,
question. Sorry, I got another question from Valerius. How many mods do you have on Twitch?
I think I have about 10, but they're not on all at the same time. I mean, it depends on the time zone. A lot of my mods, like, clearly they're not working for me full time or anything like that. They have their own lives. So they only tune in whenever they can or want. But generally speaking, at any given time, I have 3 to 4 at least per stream.
Okay.
Wow. Cool. I know we're taking up your time, and we said we did about an hour and a half, which we're coming up to now. But damn it, we had so many questions for you because we really did know nothing about Twitch.
Sure, yeah.
In inviting you, I also, because I found you via Instagram and your reels, and I found your music. Which sort of music should we be listening to of yours? Which is your favorite stuff to play of your songs?
I have a music video for a song called Mary that for all my YouTube people out there, y'all could watch. That one's probably the music video that I'm most proud of. I have a lot of DIY videos that I've shot with my friends, other content creators that you could also see. One called I'm Leaving that was shot at my friend's house, who's actually in stream right now, Trevor. That was shot at his house. Wow. And a lot of like DIY music videos that I just really love. That y'all should check out. I have a lot of stuff coming out as well. I have a community music video too called No Matter What.
Wow.
That you could find on my YouTube channel, and it was basically like dozens of my community members who submitted lip syncing to my song and like dancing with either a partner or their pet or whatever. And I just thought it was a really cute video. But if you're just like an audiophile and you don't really watch video, that's cool too. You could Google my name, Raquel Lily, and find my music on literally every music streaming service. Or you could watch me live if you prefer acoustic, because I don't really release acoustic stuff. So if you want to watch me just sing and play guitar and interact with me, that's on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Raquel, RAQUEL.
You are the OG Raquel on Twitch.
I am. There can only be one. I'm just kidding.
Very cool. So you said you're currently working on an album. When is that to be expected?
Well, I keep telling everybody in the summer, and I'm honestly like what I'm waiting for is for live shows to kind of be a thing, because I want to do a big release party that everyone would feel comfortable participating in. So I'm planning on releasing the album itself July or August-ish. So sometime in the summer. I've been working on it for quite a while now, so it's about ready to be released.
Awesome. How many songs will be on the album?
Originally there was going to be 10, but there's going to be 9 now. So okay. I cut one out.
What happened?
Well, it just doesn't, it's not really who I am anymore. It just doesn't fit. Like there's definitely like a theme, and that one's the oddball out for sure.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the B side.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And to the people watching this, we sort of marketed this video as a sort of guide to Twitch as a musician, mainly because Dan and I have, as I said at the beginning, a dangerously low amount of knowledge on that, and we go to the OG Raquel. I think I'd like to add to everything that Raquel has said in this video and say that apart from all that knowledge, all that tech stuff, all the ability and drive, you also need a very cool personality. And from talking to you, Raquel, that's exactly what you have, and it's magnetic. So if you ain't got that, don't bother.
Not to forget a great voice and a great feel for nice melodies and great songs. I was actually showing your channel around in the office today, and everyone just loved it. They were like, "Oh, this is cool. This is available on Twitch. I didn't even know."
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And before I go, did you guys have any like really like I was dying to ask her this, but I never did, like any last Twitch questions?
Oh man. Okay, what would you say to someone who was thinking of starting? Is it too late?
Absolutely. Just what are you doing with your life? I'm just kidding. No, it's never too late. Honestly, there's plenty of people who are just getting on now. Okay. And quite frankly, like are beating, if numbers are a thing to you. I know plenty of people doing better than some people who have been on the platform for years. And honestly, like, it's what you put into it and your expectations of like your craft. And there's just so many people at their ripe to find new music too, that even if they've been there for years following the same people, they're always looking for newer channels. And if you feel like it's too late or whatever, it's not. It really depends on how often you stream, how long you stream, how passionate you are about it, how much you love your own content. If you love it, then it's easier to translate that to other people who want to watch it, who want to like you. That's the thing with Twitch, is like, you have to go into it knowing that you have something that people want to watch, and you have to like perform as if you were performing in front of 10,000 people, even if it's 10 or whatever. And just have to conduct. I know it's hard to conceive of that sort of energy like out of nowhere, especially if there's no live audience trying to pump you up like you're used to, but it's nothing you can't get used to. And there's definitely, even if there's an artist that's similar to you, or if there's 20 other people that you perceive to be better than you, there's always room for more people. I mean, nobody's going to do exactly what you're doing, and that's just the mentality you have to have.
Yeah. So kind of like looking for a niche. I think you did a short video about that too, like comedy video or something like that. But like kind of finding the niche that is, you know, not yet, there's nobody in there yet, and then still that kind of fits your own personality and what you kind of want to convey. Would you think that is like a key ingredient to be successful on Twitch?
I think so. I mean, honestly, there's plenty of people who, and you know, who's talented and who's whatever, like, that's all opinion, right? Like, if you perceive yourself to be the most talented person, that could be objectively true, but there could be someone who comes in who's like, I don't like his hair, I'm not watching this, or something.
She went straight for the hair. She went straight for the hair.
Like, it could be something as innocuous as like the way you dress that day, or like you were off by one note, like. And you can't let those people dictate how good you are, because there's always gonna be a community out there for you. You just have to create it. You have to make it for yourself. But yeah, I did make a comedy video on like how to be successful Twitch streamer, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the current Twitch meta is like girls hanging out in hot tubs.
Yeah.
When I signed up the other day, that's the first thing I saw, and I thought, I don't even own a bikini, so I'm
so that's why in the beginning I'm like, you guys take notes. You, number 1, to be a successful Twitch streamer, you need a hot tub. Number 2, get a hot tub. Number 3, get a
It's really good. It's really, really good. But I must say I learned more today than I did from that short video. But
good.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I'd hope so. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I have more questions, but I'll just be bombarding them with you personally, you know, probably by a post or something, you know, up to date like that. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to be back on at some point if you guys want to do this again. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had fun. I know that it's quite different to talk to you for the people in the chat. You know, it's great. It's a new world, and I've been fairly quiet this evening because I've been really absorbing this information, not just the information, the entertainment. So thank you for being on the show.
Of course. I feel like I've just been talking so much. I'm like, God, one of these guys needs to interrupt me right now.
No, all good.
It was awful.
All good.
Oh, no.
No, that's
Good,
why you're
good,
here.
good.
Otherwise, we'd just have me and Dan. It would be the Dan and Andy show. It wouldn't be that interesting.
Very true. Good points.
Yeah. No, Dan, I'm sure we can have her back on at some point in the future. We'll find a slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great.
On Twitch, maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then we can raid you?
Yeah, that's how that works.
There you go.
Check me out. Done.
Learning
by doing. All right. Dan, are you going to ask people to give us some 5 stars on the audio version of this podcast?
Yeah, of course, because this is also available on all your podcasters out there from Thursday on. So give us a like or a 5-star rating on iTunes. Yeah, and apart from that, make sure to subscribe to Raquel's channels. She's got a great voice. She's hilarious, and like you should miss out what she's got to offer. So make sure to check out her channels. I think it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's of course Twitch, it's TikTok. What else? What did I forget? YouTube, of course. I mean, you talked about that earlier on with a lot of great videos on there. Anything else that I forget to mention?
Just Google whatever you use. Just Google it.
Yeah, Raquel Lily. Like
You'll find me.
Yeah, she's the OG Raquel. So don't go for the second Google result. She's the number one, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Apart from that, well, I'm looking forward to see how your album is doing, and like I said, maybe to get you again on the show with some live music. That would be great too.
I'd love that. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Please. I was going to ask you, but I thought it was going to be rude. But
I don't know. Like, do you feel like doing some stuff like off the cuff right now? Like,
honestly, I don't have anything plugged in.
Okay.
I'm between travels. I would
no
though.
worries, no
I
worries,
just
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know what? We'll just save that for the second episode.
Next
featuring,
time.
Next time on the Guitar Stories podcast.
Yes.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, then there's nothing more to add from my side. Thanks so much, Raquel, for taking the time. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for all the questions. I think that was a very enlightening episode for all of us. So from here, it's like Andy's channel on Twitch is just going to skyrocket. You know?
Apparently, I've got one follower now. One follower, and I think it's your friend, Raquel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor, you're the OG follower.
Nice.
I'm
gonna steal Trevor from your channel. We're gonna become best friends now, Trevor.
He's going to raid your channel, so it will be skyrocketing.
I don't know how to do that.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Sorry we're a little bit late if you watched the live version. I hope you enjoyed the fuzz pedal. And we'll catch you next week with another guest, Dan? Let's tease them with another guest.
With another guest. So,
Raquel, thanks. I'm going to play a little video to call us out then, and we'll see you again on the Guitar Stories Show.
good night, everyone. Be kind to each other.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for every